You zoom.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
I accidentally zoomed, but
That's
let's
okay.
push it back a little bit.
There we go.
All right, here
Okay.
we are together again.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much
Sure.
for agreeing to do this.
You bet.
We are here to talk about your individual professional development plan and how you're working on that and how it might be related to your math goals this year and what you were accomplishing. So
Sure.
can you tell me a little
Sure.
bit about your plan?
Well, at the beginning of the year, we have to set up goals that we have for ourselves for the year. And because guided math is fairly new to me, new thing that I'm trying, that was one of my goals, just to be more intentional about following the framework of working with a small group here at the table, while another group is doing some independent things and maybe some seat work type things, and then the third group is doing the spinets, which are the independent activities that go along with it. So I guess my goal kind of in my professional development was just to really be intentional about looking at those lessons and continuing with the scope and sequence and trying to make sure that I get everything in the year, and yeah, just exploring that more in depth.
How do you think that worked?
Really well. I am very pleased with the guided math curriculum and how I can be much more in tune with how individual students are doing, because instead of doing a whole group lesson on a particular topic, I am doing a group of maybe 4, 5, 6 kids, and that way I can really know how they're doing because they're right here at the table with me, and I can see if they're struggling, I can see if they're looking at their neighbors, and then I just like that I can also level it. I can have some easier tasks for the struggling learners, but I can really challenge the enriched, offer enrichment things for the accelerated learners too.
What did it take to bring you up to speed and be ready to offer a curriculum like this?
A lot of just looking through it, because it was something that I just kind of got myself. I had a lot of preparing of the spinets games, which now that I've been through it for a year, they're ready to go for next year. So it's going to be much easier next year to get going, because I've got, even at the table, the lessons that I do, there are mats, work mats that the kids use, and I've got all of those in page protectors and all ready to go in bags in the drawer for each of the units. So yeah, this year it's been a lot of looking ahead. What do I need to get copied? What do I need to get laminated? What do I need to gather, manipulative supplies for? But going forth from here, I think it will be a lot easier to implement, and that way I can just look at the lessons and I'll have the supplies already. So yeah.
So going forward, what will be, I hear you, first, the last time I was here, you were talking to, you had to get your kids ready to use the materials well.
Right.
So it was preparing the materials was part of your plan.
Right.
Learning about the process was part of your plan. Preparing your students was part of the plan. Do you feel like all of your goals are accomplished?
Pretty much. I would like to pick up the pace a little bit more and just really stay focused on, I need to do a lesson every day and I need to keep moving through the curriculum. I mean, it seems we get to the end of the year and, oh gosh, I really had to shorten that unit because we're running out of time, So we got to the end where some of the units like time and money and measurement and fractions and those things didn't get as much time as I would like to have given them. We maybe spent more time than we needed on adding and subtracting, but that's huge in second grade to really make sure they get those skills too. So it's kind of just that scope and sequence framework to maybe tweak a little bit in coming years. Yeah.
The tyranny of time.
Yes, exactly.
It's end of the year is always full of regret.
It is.
Something
It
different.
is.
So for next year, what will we include related to this math in your professional development plan?
Right. I think I'll be more organized, hopefully, with how to start it out. To really do the role modeling, the building stamina of what we do when we're doing our seat work time and what we do when we do spinets. I found some kids just really didn't have the spinets routine down, how I work on one, but if I don't get it done, I put the spinet and the paper clip back in the pouch, put it back in the drawer, but I keep my work paper with me. We were losing paper clips all the time and even spinets sometimes because they would keep them in their desk too. So I think just a little bit more practice at the beginning, get started right away, but a little bit more of the role modeling and the making sure that we all follow the steps each day as we go forward so that they are more independent as workers when they're not at the table.
So
Yeah.
their time is productive. So
Right.
I hear you saying two things that you will continue to work on with this. One would be scope and sequence and timeline.
Yes, yes,
And the other one would be spending some more time at the beginning preparing your students to use the materials well.
yes, yes.
How can we help you with that?
Ooh, I don't know. Trick question.
It was on my list.
Ah.
If there's any way administrators
Yes,
or coaches can
yes.
help you.
I think maybe just the sitting down and examining the scope and sequence. I think, I can look at that, but maybe a fresh set of eyes looking at it too would be, and there's a suggested scope and sequence, but that doesn't always, and of course you got to wait and see what your kids are like too.
You're needing to use assessment data and observational data to
And
know.
then even when we get started, just, if I'm doing a lesson here, just to be another body in the classroom looking at what the other kids are doing. I mean, kind of lead them, let them be on their own, but if somebody is really astray, then another set of eyes in here watching, okay, this person really didn't get what they were supposed to be doing when they were doing seat work or the spinets
to
or
see if
whatever.
you need to-
Just kind of monitoring, maybe step in. I like them to learn to be independent, but if there's a struggler that, just really was confused about what to do, maybe wasn't a good listener when you went over the expectations, to kind of step in there and help. But I would say the biggest would be that looking at the scope and sequence and the lessons in each unit and figure out how to get through it all in
Awesome.
a year.
Okay, we will meet in August and
Okay.
and help just
Go
talk
over.
through and then
Sure.
see what coaching time you need,
Sure.
and maybe by
Sounds good.
October 1 check in again.
Yes, that will be wonderful.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You bet.